Translator at Nelson Mandela's memorial. Am I using the wrong word calling him a translator? You decide for yourself. The man is now defending his performance despite criticism from around the world that he was faking the whole time. He tells a Johannesburg radio station he is perfectly qualified, actually qualified, and adding that he is getting treatment for schizophrenia. So the question, is he sick and that's what happened with his interpreting, or is he a fraud? But for now, what was he even trying to say? That's what we're trying to figure out here. We're going to bring in John Wolfe Nelson. He is an RID certified American Sign Language interpreter and a consultant with Sign Talk. And I want to start, first of all, thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Let's start with a little bit of sound of what was being said and what was being done at the same time. Can we play that?
Men, women, and children must live side by side, dreaming the same dream, realizing at the crucible of time in our land. We salute you.
Okay, now, obviously you have one of the grandchildren there speaking in English. It's being translated into South African, we believe. What's your general impression of what you saw or didn't see?
Well, what we see is a person gesticulating rhythmically. They seem to be actually creating some sentences. You see him pausing. It looks like he's thinking about what the next parts of his interpretation would be.
But do you recognize any of this as sign language?
Sign language.
No sign language.
I'm not a linguist, and I do not know South African Sign Language, but this does not look like sign language.
So if you don't know South African Sign Language, why is this still instructive of being wrong to you?
Well, we can see here that he's not using any facial expression.
So here, let's stop here for a second. So you're saying the face itself is too stoic.
Exactly.
Because what are you supposed to do?
Well, any interpreter, any person who uses any sign language is going to use their face and body to convey the intent, the emotion.
That's part of the training. It's not just style. You're supposed to do it.
Absolutely, and that's the important aspect. We are trained.
Mm-hmm. And the hands, you said that you kept seeing like a rhythmic, here, I'll make it so it looks like a better John Madden-esque illustration. You're saying that you're seeing a pattern, but to you that could be more dance moves than it could be actual sign language.
They look like gestures, and they're repetitive.
All right, so this is him doing his thing. Now, we want to also show him, let's go to the next clip, because I want to show him, okay, so let's say not understanding South African vernacular and translating is relevant. This woman is also doing South African, and she's doing the same type of translation that he is, and if you watch, you know, I'm no trained translator, but it seems like they're doing very different things. What do you pick up here, John?
Very different. Again, interpretations will vary from interpreter to interpreter because of the lens they bring to the job and how they choose to represent the message. This woman is actually creating phrases. It looks like she's using actual language. This is not.
Right? Okay, so just to be clear about it, your best guess, is this man a trained translator?
No, absolutely not.
And so he doesn't really know what he's doing. Schizophrenia, you're not a psychologist, I understand, exactly. But if that were the cause, when we looked at an earlier example of him translating, we noted the same types of traits. Have you ever heard of any